Hey, welcome back everyone. We are now in the middle of March of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the official release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show by, of course, Deborah Chow, in which she's going to do a fantastic job. We have witnessed already what's inserted in the teaser trailer, giving us a very brief glimpse into the overall style of the series and the overall format of the show. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really interact with you guys further. So what's even all the more exciting is that, yes, we are not only getting closer to the Kenobi series, but we're also getting very much closer to the end of filming for The Mandalorian Season 3. So by the very end of this month, so far so good, is when principal photography is all set and ready to end for the third season of Mando, before they move on to developing the script for Season 4. So there's a lot of things happening at the same exact time. We have John and Dave working on Mando, Ahsoka series, and more to come as well, that will be unveiled at Star Wars Celebration this year, by the way, which takes place in May, so keep your eyes open for that. However, on top of all of this, one thing, of course, that a lot of fans have been very intrigued about is, of course, actress Gina Carano. Now, ever since her firing back in February of 2021, there's been a lot of changes since then. You know, a lot of fans have canceled their Disney Plus subscription, a lot of fans walked away from Star Wars. However, Disney, of course, and Lucasfilm are trying to get those fans back into the equation here by showing them TV shows like the Kenobi series, like The Mandalorian Season 3 later this year. And we also have the Andor TV show, which may or may not really stick to the overall fandom. We gotta wait and see exactly how that show goes. But that's currently slated for an August release of this year, so basically, one show that's really up in the air right now that's having a couple of setbacks is The Bad Batch Season 2, the animated TV series, but I digress. What's really intriguing is that with both Disney and Lucasfilm now working on the Ahsoka Tano TV show, creators John and Dave Filoni are also getting ready to announce a host of new Star Wars TV shows for Disney Plus that will be unveiled at this year's celebration. Now, further, it's noted, however, that currently actress Gina Carano, behind the scenes, is said to be very angry over one of the Star Wars writers over at Lucasfilm that are trying to prevent her from returning in The Mandalorian Season 4 by John and Dave Filoni. Now, it's noted that Star Wars writer Leslie Headland has been trying to convince the Disney higher-ups, with Kathleen Kennedy by her side, that rehiring Gina Carano is a big mistake and would only weaken the Star Wars franchise further, and how it would have a ripple effect on fan interest of the series. Now, actress Leslie Headland will never actually support Gina Carano, never has. We already knew that. However, on top of all of that, it's noted that Star Wars writer Leslie Headland has been trying to convince the Disney higher-ups, of course, with Kathleen Kennedy, about Gina Carano and her firing in the past, and how rehiring her would only destroy the franchise even further and weaken the Star Wars franchise as well. Now, of course, Leslie Headland was never a big fan of Gina Carano, the actress, and has been assisting Kathleen Kennedy in trying to convince Disney to completely prevent her from coming on board of the fourth season of Mando. Now, Leslie is described to be one of the writers associated with Lucasfilm that holds many friends over at the company that dislike Gina Carano, and that Leslie is trying to stand up for those employees at Lucasfilm in order to prevent Gina's rehiring into The Mandalorian Season 4 as Cara Dune again. Now, both Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland have been trying to tell the higher-ups that a recast of that character is necessary. Gina Carano is in fact very angry over the situation and livid over how far both Kathleen Kennedy and Headland are going to prevent her from coming on board for the conclusion of the Mandalorian series in 2023. So let me just pause right here for 1 second. Now, one thing that we do know about everything related to Leslie Headland is that she is completely sided with Kathleen Kennedy and believes in every step of the way of what Kathleen Kennedy is doing with the Acolyte TV show for the most part. I mean, they've had a couple of arguments here and there, but overall, everything related to Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland, I mean, they're pretty much a duo. They're pretty much, a team, if you will, on creating this new alternate version of Star Wars that's going to cater to non-Star Wars fans, essentially, that will become new Star Wars fans for their style of the franchise. And that, to me, it just comes off the wrong way. It comes off like Kathleen Kennedy is trying to completely just throw the fans in the dirt and create new fans that accept their overall agenda. That's what it really comes off as, and that is exactly what they're doing. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy even admitted this, that the Acolyte TV show is going to be geared towards new fans and not necessarily fans that grew up with George Lucas's work and his philosophy of Star Wars and what the franchise really stands for. And it applies to the same exact scenario here with Gina Carano. Fans that actually, you know, pretty much look up to that character, Cara Dune, played by Gina, you know, that's going to be a big problem because Kathleen Kennedy does not want to cater to fans like that. And Leslie Headland is having a lot of issues with Jon and Dave pretty much rehiring her for The Mandalorian Season 4, and how the Disney higher-ups are having no problem with that at all, and they're allowing Jon and Dave to do this. Leslie Headland has a big problem with that because she's got friends over at Lucasfilm that apparently, quote-unquote, had issues with Gina Carano. Not a big surprise. So, further, alright, Leslie Headland is also said to be friends with Freddie Prinze Jr., also not a big surprise, who also is, of course, against Gina Carano and even laughed about her firing back in 2021 on Twitter. Leslie Headland is described to believe that if Gina Carano is rehired, it will create a negative domino effect on the franchise and will only cause further harm to the Star Wars universe. Now, so far, separate from all of this could very well be rooted to how Jon Favreau refused to add Leslie Headland on as a director of The Mandalorian Season 3, and that Leslie wanted to give it a shot with The Mandalorian. Now, Jon Favreau did not allow this at all, and this created a form of tension between the two, and given that Favreau is sided with Carano, Carano is described to have a grudge against Leslie Headland now for her endless attempts of preventing her to be rehired essentially for the Mandalorian series. Now, Cara Dune as a character is set to have tons of new scenes for the 4th season that will expand the character like never before. It's one of the newest attempts by Jon and Dave to give Cara Dune screen time with characters such as Luke Skywalker and even Ahsoka Tano in the series that will truly add to the experience for the entire fandom. It's going to be a very challenging season to develop, as a new host of technology techniques will be used in the show that differs from Season 3. So, one thing that I really have to add on to here that's very important that the fans really need to know is the fact that we have, of course, you know, Leslie Headland pretty much doing this on and on again, right? Time and time, over and over. And it's really not all that surprising because, let's face it, Leslie Headland is very close with Kathleen Kennedy. In fact, you know, in case you guys didn't know, she is going to be doing big things with Project Vortex, which is another High Republic-oriented TV show. It's essentially going to be Stranger Things in space. It doesn't sound all that appealing to me, but I digress. The thing about this is that you can see that Lucasfilm still acts like high school or middle school. I don't know why it operates like that. I don't know why there's always some form of drama behind the scenes, but that seems to be exactly what the case is. And that really needs to be fixed, and it's something that Disney CEO Bob Chapek is trying to fix. It's one of the main reasons as to why they have that big plan set in place for later this year to replace Kathleen Kennedy as the president of Lucasfilm, to fill in George Lucas temporarily for the first quarter of 2023. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. There's more details on that. But overall, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.